Yeah, good evening, my friends out there. Yeah, it's another edition of the Stephen Talk Show, and today I just want some of us to know one thing that not all um, not all youths are fraudsters, and not all successful people are fraudsters or into one fraudulent activities or the other. Not all. And sadly, we live in a society, in the country today, where if you're a youth, for instance, a young guy who is probably well to do, good looking, dressed well, lives in a good apartment or drives a good car, and the next thing people tend to think, oh, that person is a fraudster, or that person is into what they call it this day, is into Yahoo or stuff like that. Honestly, not all youths. I'm not saying that these things does not exist, but not all youths are fraudsters. We have youths who are hardworking. And I don't know why some people believe in order to be successful, you must engage into one fraudulent activities or the other, which is not true. Which is not true. Even before this Yahoo of 18 becomes rampant, before it becomes so rampant as it is today, we have successful youths. We have youths who have recorded success over the years through the work of their hands. Sadly, today, most people now feel like when you are doing well, you are well to do, you probably a fraudster. And this is why sometimes when you're driving on the road and you're being stopped, the first thing a police officer would ask you, what do you do for a living? It's very common here in Nigeria. I remember there are countless of times, and most people send me a DM or probably physically, and they ask me, what do I do for a living? And I tell them I'm an entrepreneur, I'm into business. And then the next thing some of them will say is, you're a business person and you drive this kind of a car, or are you sure? And I begin to ask myself, why do people feel like God does not bless people? Why do some people feel like you cannot be well to do or successful without engaging in fraudulent activities or without becoming a fraudster? Like, it's so bad these days. Most times when I'm driving on the road, I'm being stopped by a police officer, and the first thing they ask is, what do you do for a living? I could remember an encounter that I was stopped by a police officer, and the next thing he asked me was, what do you do for a living? And I brought out my ID card I gave to him and all, and he said to me, oh, please, we're not after this. Yes, what I see there, you're a businessman, so is that what you do to buy this kind of a car worth this amount? And I was like, and in fact, there's something he said, is that what a small boy like you uses in buying this kind of car? And I said to myself, excuse me, officer, I'm not a kid. I'm not even a boy, I'm a man. In as much as I might look a bit probably younger than my age. And I said, at my age, in my 30s, and you feel someone of my age is not supposed or should not be seen driving this kind of a car. This car is kind of, is it too big for me, or I don't understand. You go to the Western countries, you find youths of 18, 19 driving cars worth millions of naira. Why is it a crime here in Nigeria? I'm not saying that we don't have youth who are into fraudsters, but everybody should not be packed together. Everybody should not be seen or viewed or being looked at or being labeled as a Yahoo or a fraudster. It's actually not good. There are youth who have been in business over the years. There are youth who are doing well in business, who are not into fraud. And the youth these days have to shun this mentality, feeling that in order for them to succeed, they must go into fraud. Fraud doesn't pay. Fraud doesn't pay. You don't need to be a fraudster. You don't need to go into Yahoo before you become successful, before you become. No. And not all youth who you see who are well to do or doing or good looking or dressed where you feel, oh, this person is a fraudster. It's so common in the country today. There was a day I and my friend went to the mechanic to fix my car, and I saw some guys. I think they are the probably people, the area boys around that area, and the next thing the two of them said while passing and looking at us, Yahoo boys. And I was my friend got angry. I said, Prince, what sort of insult is this? I want to confront the guy, and I told him, no, there's no point for that. There's no point for that. That's the world we find ourselves. That's the country we find ourselves today. Once you see the youth now look at themselves, or when maybe one is well to do than the other, they feel that person is a fraud. I said, so that's what it is today. So it's very, very bad, man. It's very bad. We need to shun that mentality of feeling that this person is a Yahoo person. This person is doing Yahoo. We need to stop it at all costs. We are people doing well in business. We are people doing well in different fields and areas of endeavor, different walks of life. So it is not fraud. Not all is fraud. Yes, we know such people exist, but not all. And let's stop labeling people names that are not there. Let's stop calling everybody a Yahoo or a fraudster. Please, we need to stop it. Let's change that mentality. Let's do that, please. Thanks.